Hey folks, welcome to the Mandolin Tune of the Week. Thanks for joining me this week. We've got a great tune from the mandolin player Dempsey Young, originally from the Lost and Found bluegrass band from Virginia. This is one that came out on their first record, self-titled Lost and Found. I think it came out in 1980. One that Dempsey wrote called Speckled, Pups. Dempsey Young was a great mandolin player who passed away in 2006. But he inspired a lot of great players, notably Adam Steffi, and I've often found that Dempsey's playing is underrated and not studied or talked about nearly enough. And I thought this tune would be a good starting point to check out some of Dempsey Young's playing. So let's go ahead and start to break down this tune. It's really short, really simple, pretty easy to understand. Just listen through, get it in your head a few times, and you'll know it before you know it. So it starts out with this intro, which is over the A chord. So we're in the key of D, so that A is going to be the 5 chord. And I'm just going to play that intro once slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a pretty basic idea. It's really just a scale pattern, starting on the A. And then we're going to drop to this F sharp, which is, of course, the fourth fret on the D string. And we're just going to climb in this little pattern. And then go down to the 6th fret, that G sharp note. Keep climbing. And when we get to this F sharp, we're going to stop that pattern and we're going to play this. And that's just going to send us to this A chord, which will launch us into the melody. So once more, here's that intro slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the A section to this tune is pretty simple. I'll play it once, but the most notable challenge is the slide from the A to the B note. And we're going to do that with some different timings, and we're going to start it with our pinky, but every other time will be our ring finger. Coming out of the intro. So we're going to start out here on this A chord, and that's 2, 2, 4, 5. And like always, there's a tab in the description below, and that's got all of the fingerings, all of the pick strokes, everything like that. I recommend learning it by ear, and if you can't do that, your next step would be to try to learn it visually by watching me play it. But as a last resort, if you really can't figure something out, there's a notation. So feel free to go check that out. So we're going to start on this A chord with our pinky on the 5th fret, and we're going to slide that to the 7th fret and catch this B note, and then go back to catching this A note on the 5th fret with our ring finger. So that's going to sound like this. And we're not going to pick that B note, we're only going to do a downstroke on the slide and let it ring out on its own. So once we're back on this A, we're going to play a triplet, hammer on and pull off. So just like that. And then we're going to play this little pentatonic scale idea. So all together, that's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we're going to catch this A note on an upstroke again with our ring finger and slide it up to the 7th fret to catch that B. Play a similar triplet hammer on pull off here. And we're going to go up to that F sharp and catch the open E, and then play a C sharp here and catch that open A at the end of that phrase. So that second phrase is going to sound something like this, starting on an upstroke. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's of course being played over D to the A for 1 to a 5 chord. So both of those together will sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to repeat phrase number 1 now, which is going to be like this. And then we're going to play this ending lick. So starting on the D on an upstroke. So let's break that down. We're starting on that upstroke on the D with our ring finger, then catching the F sharp on the E string with our index, and climbing up. I'm going index, index, middle, ring, and then we'll go back down just like that. So all together. So that's the whole A section. I'll play it once more slowly and then we'll move on. So 1, 2, 3. So moving on to the B section, it's incredibly short, incredibly simple, just 3 chords, repeated twice with a minimal difference between the repeats. So I'll go ahead and play it once slow. So this will be both B parts. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to start with this pentatonic scale, just like that, using mostly these 2 fingers. And then we're going to hammer on to a C chord, and I'm just playing the D and the A open and landing on that C. And the picking pattern is down, up, up, down. And on that third one, I'm catching that D note, the 5th fret of the A string, with my ring finger on the upstroke. And I suppose you could play all of the strings here and it would sound good. For simplicity purpose and to practice some picking control, I wrote it out just with these 2, but you could play it something like this. And that sounds great. So now we're going to go to the G chord, and this lick is going to sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do all alternating down, up, down, up. We're going to start by hammering on from the F sharp to the G, the 2nd to 3rd fret. And on that upstroke there, we're going to catch the 4th fret with our ring finger and then slide it up to the 5th fret. And then we're just going to grab the 1st fret, slide it up to the 2nd, and play a little pentatonic idea there, or the 1 to the 6 to the 1. And that's pretty much the B part. So the second time through that phrase, instead of sliding up to that note, it's just going to stay on the G. So it'll sound like this. So once more, let's check out those B parts together, slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So thanks for joining me. Come back every Saturday. There's a new Mandolin Tune of the Week. We'll be digging into some deeper cuts and some less heard, less played tunes from some great mandolin players. I'll play it once more. Feel free to play along. 1, 2, 3.